it's Derek G here and it's Solid Air, my hangout at home sharing songs with my favorite artists from my dining table on a mild afternoon. This episode could have easily gone on for hours. We became mutuals first on Instagram and became instant friends over a coffee. This artist communicates his feelings in his music not through words but through ambience, atmosphere and the comfort of silence. It felt appropriate to welcome this Icelandic artist to my home on a winter's day. Please give a warm welcome to my guest, Ólafur Arnalds. You brought me some snacks?
Yeah.
We caught it on camera.
I'm at your house, so
no one has. You're the first person that's brought.
Can I be honest here?
Yeah.
When I arrived at my hotel today, the label had given me a big box of snacks.
You shouldn't say that.
Full disclosure.
Ólafur Arnalds is in the building, everyone, and he's passed on some snacks to me, some Tim Tams.
Some very Australian snacks.
Wagon wheels. I like that you gave me Vegemite. You know, I am Australian, but you know, he was also concerned about a sponsored content.
Yeah.
But hey.
When in Australia, right?
Arnalds, if you want to sponsor the show, you're more than welcome. What haven't you had?
So I tried this because I have two Australian friends in Iceland actually.
Okay.
And at my friend Benjamin's house the other day, he gave me some Tim Tams.
Okay.
His father had brought from Australia.
So you haven't had wagon wheels?
I have not had wagon wheels, never even seen them until this morning.
Well, I made you a coffee.
Yes.
And I've got my coffee, and we're gonna have Ólafur Arnalds and wagon wheels. This is what a nice way to start the show. So crinkly.
I'm surprised we're not eating the Vegemite with a spoon.
That's a different show. So this is terrible for audio.
Yeah, absolutely horrifying.
Here, that's for you.
All right, gonna try this.
I haven't had one of these.
Ooh, wow.
In years. It's good. Good with the coffee, actually, I would say.
Oh, it's not so bad. I thought this would be terrible. Sorry, I just assumed.
No,
just
they're
the
like
way the packaging
plasticky.
looks. Yeah.
So, I'm really glad. Thank you for doing this show.
Really happy to be here. It's really cool to be here. I followed you for a while, as you know.
Yeah, well, you followed me, and I followed you right back because I'm a fan of your work. I don't often follow. I always see musicians as like just people in my imagination that I'm a fan of, so I don't go out seeking to follow them. So when you came in, it's like, hell yeah, like what's going on?
You were posting some Indonesian ambient music.
Was I?
How can I not follow this guy?
And now you're at my house having wagon wheels.
It's amazing.
It's a dream come true for us all. So this, as I tell everyone, is a music show. We have our socks on. You have some very impressive planet socks on. We need we need a sock cam next time. I've seen the amount of people's socks I've seen. I've brought songs to play you. You've brought songs to play me. You released an album very recently that I want to talk about as well. Tell us what you're here for in the country, not just in this room.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually here on tour with my side project, Kiasmus, an electronic dance music project that I started with a good friend of mine, Janus Rasmussen, like 10, 15 years ago. We started doing this just as a way to have fun. And yeah, we happened to be on tour here. We played the City Opera House 2 nights ago and turned that into a rave, which was really fun.
Wow.
Full
Sorry I
rave.
couldn't make it. I was in Canberra, of all places.
Yeah, you were also traveling, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we played Tasmania last night. I came back here to meet you and do a couple of other things, and then we'll continue our tour.
Do you enjoy the Opera House?
Yeah, I've played there a few times actually as with my own stuff. But that was the first time I've seen it turn into a rave, which was pretty cool. It was really, actually the first time in a while I go on stage and halfway into the first song and I look up and I see the whole audience just like instantly standing up as soon as you hear the first beat. I thought it would take a little, it would take a little effort to get people to stand up from their very comfy opera house seats, as it sometimes does, you know?
I think that's rare. Like I saw Japanese Breakfast and they didn't stand up until the last song.
Right. It was so great. I actually got
Congratulations.
goosebumps.
Wow.
Just like looking out into the room and like, you start to think like, you know, the combination of like where I am, how jet lagged I am, and what's happening in front of me was just, it was one of these rare magical moments you get, you know?
You don't get tired of that feeling.
No. It reminds you of why you go through all this. Because like everything about touring kind of sucks, except that 1 hour, 1.5 hour, like you have on stage. And when you get these moments, it kind of reminds you why you do all of it.
Yeah, I've not had the experience. I'm only starting to have the experience now. I toured recently, and to show up in a room and there's people in different countries that just show up for you is, I can't imagine that gets old. It's like, what?
Yeah, I'm just looking at these faces and having a conversation with an audience is, I think, essentially why we do what we do, right? That's why you do music. You're communicating something, you're expressing something, and like when you go for too long without having that actually be real in person, I think you can sometimes lose a little bit track of why you do what you do.
Interesting. It's all intellectual. It's not like I'm making music for real people that are listening. Like when you have like the millions of monthly listeners.
You're looking at numbers or something on Spotify or Instagram or something, and that's the only kind of feedback loop that you get stuck in, that kind of feedback loop, and it's just so. And you can actually get lost in it too. Like obviously, a lot of people get caught up in that, like as a value system, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't really get that way, but still, I still get lost in that because that's all you see. Maybe like pandemic, for example, 3 years. That's the only real conversation I was having was with people through comment sections or numbers, streams or whatever, you know. It's just good to be reminded of the real faces and the real emotions and the real lives that are lived.
And that they're there for you.
Yeah.
Like
and for themselves, and I'm there for them, you know. That's the important part for me, you know. That's why I'm there.
Now normally I play the guest another song to kind of warm us up, but I feel like I just want to hear something you've brought.
Sure.
I feel like I want to go where you want to go. So you brought a bunch of things, and I'm trying my best not to look at it. It's really hard, but you can take a look at your list. And what would you like to start us off with?
Wow, now I'm also looking at this list and like, why did I pick any of these things? But it would probably be good because we just talked about my new album and we're kind of introducing it. Might be good to just get that out of the way. And
not get it out of the way. It's as important as anything. This is not promo. I'm interested in you and anything you have to play me. So not getting out of the way.
Okay, no, let's start with Talk.
You said get it out of the way. Do you know?
And then go into a 10-minute long song.
Exactly. Do you know the growing lore around this in my show? Talk?
No. Does everyone play Talk?
Max Richter, Lord, you.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
No, it's great. That's a compliment to me. Truly.
They're kind of a musician's band, aren't they? Like.
That's it.
They're artists that other artists like.
Yes. Why do you think it's a musician's band? Like there is some reason why multiple artists bring this to play on the show.
I guess I can mostly just speak for myself, and there's a type of vulnerability in this. And also if you know their story, like they're kind of more poppy past. They were kind of stuck in a major label deal. They wanted out, did this album. Label was like, no, fuck this. We can't do anything with this. But they put their foot down. They stuck by it, and they did one of the most amazing albums of all time. I think there's some true honesty in this music that always shines through in everything they do. And for me personally, like, this sound has affected everything I've done.
Really?
Like, for anyone who knows anything about my way of producing music, like, everything is kind of on the edge of silence all the time because of this album.
Wow.
Like, and I feel like they pioneered that way of recording, that way of just like intimacy in sound, intimacy in production. Like you can hear Mark Hollis's voice is barely making a sound there, and he's just like, he's almost swallowing the microphone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do with everything I do, like Mike's on the piano, and you start to hear all the things that makes music human, and not just a tool, or like these instruments not being just tools. So with piano, you start to hear the sounds of the hammers, you start to hear the breath of the pianist even, or the creak of the chair, and it's those things that remind you that this is not just some sound waves coming from a speaker at different frequencies, but you're actually hearing a human on the other side there.
There's a generosity to the sound where I wouldn't call this structureless, but the audience has to come with Mark Hollis and the band. It's not like, here's the chorus, here's the bridge, count to 16, and this is the next thing.
No.
It just goes.
It just goes on, and like this song goes on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It could easily be 20.
Easily.
I don't think you would tell the difference even.
Yeah. I will always come back to the, now that I have what you said, wisdom from you, I come back to what Max Richter said. He said, in my best impression of Max Richter, there's so much time in their music, which is a lovely way to put it. It's just...
Yeah. You lose all sense of time listening to this.
Yeah.
I used to actually use, or like listen to this particular song every day, once a day. Whenever I came home from the studio after a long day of working on my own stuff, and you come home and you just need this transition time. You know? You need this moment where you turn from your head being like this to
seeing the world again.
Seeing the world again, and being able to actually communicate with other people or think about anything else than those 4 bars you've been obsessing with for 5 days. And I would always put this on every day.
Wow. I have a similar experience with, and it's a similar era as well, and you would know this song, from John Martyn, Small Hours.
Oh yeah.
I remember, it's a similarly long song. 1977, this is from 1991, it's okay, not the same era at all. I remember putting this on. I used to live in London, and I went into the office. No one was there yet. And I put this song on, and it was just me in this big warehouse office to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that same start to the day, start to something. We'll listen to a bit of it.
Yeah. Oh.
heartbeat.
So subtle though. I love how that chord doesn't go anywhere, but it's perfect. It's been a while since I heard this, actually. Thanks for reminding me of it.
It's a magical song. It's similar but different to the Newgrass, you know. And that kind of volume effect, kind of swelling.
There's just something like, there's one element that just kind of keeps it from being kind of a mess, and that's the heartbeat. Like, it ties everything back. It makes sure it stays grounded. It reminds me of another band, actually, called The Gentlemen Losers. Do you know
Gentlemen Losers? No. Well,
this is actually really good.
We might have to play that.
In a similar way, like, mostly just guitar, ambient, and delays.
Was that a bird sound? Must be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. I was given a John Martyn CD when I was younger, and the voice was too of its time for me to appreciate it. You know, it's a particular voice.
I actually think this is the only stuff I've listened to of his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, this show, Solid Air, is named after his song called Solid Air, so it's like he's got plenty of good ones.
The drum machine is like.
I wonder if it's like a slide with a volume pedal, like there's chords.
Yeah, I think it's just one of these volume pedals.
Yeah.
And loads of delay.
So I've wanted to ask you a question about atmosphere and your thoughts around it, because your music possesses it, it creates it. There's an essence of it in it. That's what I'm a fan of with your music. There's an atmosphere. Do you think about it? Do you try to capture it? Is it just your style? Like, how can you articulate
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think about it a lot. It's one of the first things I start with often. I make instrumental music for the most part. I mean, unless I'm collaborating with someone who sings, my music is instrumental. And I realized this maybe only after making a couple of albums, that the atmosphere, it's what tells a story in instrumental music. Like, it's almost like it's a tool for storytelling. What you put, like in the song we heard before, there were some like sounds of seagulls. It places you somewhere. It places you in a place, or in a lot of my music, I might use, let's say, a vintage microphone and a tape machine to give it there's a very like kind of cheesy
no,
cheesy example, but like this is an example.
Yeah.
You use that to maybe create a feeling of something that's in the past.
Yes.
Or an echo of something. And every little decision you take about how something sounds and how the timbre of it is helping you tell what you're trying to say in the music. Which, if you just think about music as a chord progression and a melody, that's quite abstract, you know. And all these atmospheric things, they help us connect it to something tangible, something real that we recognize in a less abstract way.
So would you define it as texture that you either add to an instrument or a layer that you would, or is it less formulaic?
It's more ingrained in everything I do. Like, it's usually not a second layer. It can be, of course. Something I'll sometimes do, especially I've written some music for films and TV. Often I'll start with the atmosphere before I write a single note. Just like, where does this music live?
Wow.
In what world does this music live in? So I'll start just creating some sounds, maybe some loops, and I'll just leave them running. Whether it's ambiences or field recording or ambient synth loop or something, and you just leave that running, and then you start to write music on top of it.
Yeah, wow.
You might even take the atmosphere out.
Yeah.
At the end, it might not end up in the final music, but it kind of ties you down to a certain place where, like, where does that music live?
I find that fascinating, especially, as you said, as mostly making instrumental music. It is not your voice, but,
Yeah.
you know, when you're jamming with vocalists, it's a bit different. But without that, you need some sort of heart that's beyond instruments.
Yeah. I only really fully realized this consciously on my last album, some kind of piece, where I just really wanted to speak, and I wanted to speak from the heart. Kind of for the first time, I've always been more conceptual about my stuff. I realized I was kind of hiding, you know. I was hiding behind a wall of concepts, you know? And I just really wanted my music to be more honest and more vulnerable. And
What song was that?
I think just that whole album.
Not the one you just released.
No, so this is the one before that.
Okay.
Some kind of piece. I released it in the pandemic. See the track title?
I see
New
it.
Grass.
So it's not a. I have it saved, but.
But that's an actual reference to that Top Dog track.
I see.
I just stole their title.
Fair enough.
I would say a good example of that is Woven Song.
Okay.
And that one actually uses a sample. It's a bit more on the nose than most of the things.
What's the sample?
It's about to start here,
Oh.
next bar. Listen closely, you'll hear breathing. Actually, right there, I just talked over it. You'll hear whistling.
Ah.
You'll people going through stuff. Like, I like this sample so much. So this is from a ritual, a medicine ceremony, and I liked it so much because it was not just a vocal sample. Like when you listen closely, you can actually hear everything that's going on around the shaman, everything else. And this is very early on in the album, and like the album kind of tells a story of kind of finding the peace within yourself, finding the love within yourself, so you're actually ready to move on to the next stage of life, which in my case was, you know, meeting my now wife at the perfect time in my life where I was actually able to receive that and able to kind of take that offer that life presented me. And this is kind of the beginning of it, and if you want to quickly put on We Contain Multitudes at the very end, the sample here in the beginning.
No, I don't. I was just getting...
Okay. I'm not giving up on you.
I was getting lost and I was getting... But okay. I just start from the beginning.
Yeah,
That's the first night we met.
No, no.
And that's us just being like really awkward and kind of, we're jamming together, playing and singing together, and just being awkward and cute and kind of
So you
giggly,
you
know.
met in a recording session, therefore. You
Well,
didn't.
we
You
hung
didn't have a
out
first
and there was
date.
a piano and we did.
How did? But you decided to press record.
Yeah, because there was an idea forming. It was really nice. And
How romantic. Hold on, I need to listen to it again. Hold on, I'll turn it up a bit. Hold on.
Coming back to the...
Okay.
I give up.
No, I don't. I was
No?
just getting...
Okay. I'm not giving up on you.
I was getting lost and I was getting...
It's so flirty. Oh yeah, this is the way you're talking. Wow, what you make me think about is like how mostly instrumental artists expresses themselves.
right.
Because you can't just say on the song, "This is when I met you."
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah,
So
I
you
can't
gotta-
put that into words. So you have to use all these other tools that you have, whether it's samples, other things I do on that album. Like I sampled her voice and created a new instrument based on her voice, and that comes in as a choir. Like I think in the song before that song, when you finally hear her,
It's like secret
talking voice.
messages.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy your music for what it is, but it's like you've got all these messages in there that people might not hear, but you know are there, and people might pick up the frequency of it, but you're
this
not
might be
telling them.
conscious or not, but I really like rewarding deep listening. And I think especially with music like mine, which tends to be pigeonholed into maybe, you know, relaxation music or background music, you know? Like if you look at Spotify, like all these playlists
sure,
and stuff.
Sure.
And I think somewhere within me there's like this subconscious part of me that is always fighting that, you know? Like I really just want to tell people that this is not just background music, and if you take the time and listen, and if you listen a couple of times, and if you listen with attention, it will reward you for that.
I feel like I don't know. I've never listened to your music or music like this as background music, but there is a functional element to some people experience it.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, obviously, I do that too. I listen to music in the background when I do other stuff. It's completely fine. But that's not what I dreamed of when I was a kid. You know,
Yes.
to be someone's background music.
No,
You know?
I want to be a background music artist. Your new album.
Yes.
I read the whole, I guess, story. I don't even want to say press release. It's like the story of it.
Yeah.
Is like, should I explain it or should you explain it? It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, I'll let you start because it's hard for me to know where to start. But yeah, I'll jump in.
So you released a collaborative album with a friend of yours that you met a couple years ago, who passed how long ago?
A year ago now.
A year ago.
Yeah.
And so reading that before listening to it completely affected any kind of, for want of a better word, objectivity around it. I was listening to mourning in a sense, or listening to some sort of last bits of life, I guess. Like, because he's recording at this time,
Yeah.
and you're putting it out after.
Yes.
And so I'm listening to it going, this is... My
pretty
wife asked me about
unique.
it. Yeah, my wife asked me about it. I'm like, it's just, it doesn't sound intense, but it's intense for me. How does it feel that it's now out?
I'm finally starting to shed some of the layers of thick skin I've had to build for the last year in order to
finish it.
And get it done. It's starting to like come off now.
Wow.
And how does it feel? It feels like all the things. I just feel all the things right now. On the plane this morning, I was listening to my voice notes from. We recorded all our last conversations actually, because they included so much about the album and his ideas of how I would finish them and finish our music and so I don't know. There's a lot to it. There's also like it's a bit of a double-edged sword, that this story that he passed like halfway through making this album with me, and that fact, for better or worse, kind of also taints the music in a way, and you start to analyze it or retrospectively like put a perspective on it that is not necessarily the perspective he had on it as an artist while creating these songs with me, because he was very much alive when he wrote these songs with me, So there's it's a complicated creature, that album. Death is a part of it, obviously. I mean, so we wrote, let's say 1/3, I would say, is from before he got sick. He was diagnosed with cancer after we had made 3 songs or so. Another 1/3 of the album was made together while he was ill, and there was these kind of questions looming, how long do we have,
And this is Talos, by the way.
Talos, we didn't even mention this. And then there's a 3rd part to it after he passed, where I'm finishing it alone, and I added a couple of songs that, like, we had some small hints of ideas that I kind of turned into songs, and so obviously death is a part of it, but I don't think it's a sad album. I don't think it. Yeah, I think it's actually. It just sits with these feelings, It just lets them be, and it just lets us feel whatever we need to feel without the album telling you how sad everything is,
I'm intrigued. Like, if I didn't know the story, how I would have felt,
Exactly, and this is kind of this is why I say it's a double-edged sword. I was joking about it with my friend yesterday, actually, because he was like, "How is it going? How have the reception been?" I'm like, "Hey, actually, it's been great. Like, we're getting 5-star reviews everywhere." And then I hesitated, like, who would give 1-star review to a dead guy? Like,
yeah.
But so it has that story. Changes a little bit how we see the music, and
over time that might change the further people get from that story.
And I've read a few stories about it. I read a couple of the reviews. My favorite one didn't even mention at all that he had passed. It just saw the music as music. And I love that, like, they
That's
obviously
so
know it, they
surprising.
get the press release and there's a dedication in the album and everything. But I love just seeing someone just listen and pass judgment, so to speak,
Yeah.
on this music just based on the music. It was a wonderful read.
Wow.
Yeah, I loved it.
Under a broken moon we regaled what was. I watched the swallows bloom into a cloud of dust. Oh brother, come be my keeper, hold me dear. Don't let the wreckage call what the wreckage wants. Now let's just ride on the haze while the moments rain. No, don't you fold my wings for the fear of flight in your eyes. You curl up ghosts while I ponder death. It feels like this war is our dawning.
Not to retell your stories, but in that press release it talked about him not experiencing orchestras, recording an orchestra and recording it after him passing, and listening to this with that story in mind is so heavy for me to listen to, and like obviously for you to experience.
Yeah. It's still very hard for me to listen to this stuff, actually, especially now that I'm more out of it. I'm not as much in it anymore.
Should I like
No,
stop?
it's totally fine. This vocal, by the way, was a one-take demo. You know,
Really?
like so much of this album we never finished, and like I put quotations on that because
Yeah.
what is finished music? You know.
Yeah.
And I think there's something really fascinating about leaving things a bit open-ended, having music kind of feel like it's not fully finished. There's something sublime in that, actually. Right there he says, "You curled up gods while I pondered death. It feels like this war is our dawning." It's just amazing line of lyric there. The whole thing.
I really felt it. Like I do feel like, yes, like we said, the music will live on beyond the story, like the press release story, right? But just reading that, I felt like the orchestra was behind you and behind it. Just you feel it, and I get drawn into the power of the orchestra really pushing for him, for Talos. You know, it's
And they really were, actually, particularly in this particular song. So we had booked a session with an orchestra before he passed, actually, and he was not able to travel to be a part of it in person, but he was there on Zoom, and it was the first time in my whole life where a recording session with an orchestra was a complete disaster. Just like everything went wrong.
Really?
In the session. Like some channels were not working.
Oh God.
Something went wrong with my scores, my music sheets. And in the end, like we had 3 hours or something, and we just didn't get it done. And I just like said, guys, this was a very painful waste of money here, but I think we're just gonna have to call it a day.
Oh shit.
And we're gonna have to do this later. I booked a new date with the same orchestra, and everyone was a bit more careful about. And he passed away a week or two before that date.
Wow.
And I had completely forgotten about this date, obviously, in the whole, when a close friend passes, you get kind of lost in a bubble of where that's the only thing in your life for weeks and weeks. And I get home from Ireland after the funeral and I look at my calendar, like for the first time in like 3 weeks. Oh shit, I have a recording session next week, and my first thought was just to cancel it. No way am I ready for this. I'm like, also like, do I even want to finish this album? Like I don't know what's happening with all of this now, And I called around a couple of musical friends and our mutual friends, they were just like, no way you're stopping now, you have to keep going. He asked you to finish this, and like they gave me the encouragement and the confidence I needed to keep going. But they also offered to come with me and be there. So I had a few friends with me, and before we started, I had a little talk with the orchestra, and these are session players. And
they're there to do a job.
Yes, no shade at all, but
no,
like
of course,
it's literally what it is.
Give me the score.
Yeah, give me the score, and that's why they get paid, because they can look at the score and play it wonderfully.
Yes.
Everyone's happy.
Yes.
They don't need to even practice it. It's just usually perfect within 3 takes.
Wow.
But with this one, that felt kind of wrong. I couldn't just give them the scores and like, all right, let's get on with our day. We're on the clock here.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. So I stand up with the conductor, who is actually a close friend, and I just tell him, I just want to explain to you guys why we have these people here who are with us in the session and what's going on, and start telling them about Owen, Talos, how wonderful he was, how we've been working on this music for over a year now, and then at the end I tell them like he passed away 10 days ago, and you could hear like this audible gasp.
Oh wow!
The orchestra. I guess I started on the wrong side of that story. And I said, I know this is unusual. I know you just showed up for work today.
Yeah.
I know I'm putting myself on a spot here, and maybe that's not comfortable for you. Maybe I'm oversharing here, but I promised him before he passed that I would finish this and I would do it in the best way possible. I would do it with the honor and dignity that my closest friend here deserves. And I saw a couple of tears in the orchestra, and I just saw very just assuring, we got you, just nods, and I heard a couple of people say don't worry man, we've got this.
Wow.
And I've never ever heard an orchestra play like that.
Goodness me.
In a recording session.
Yeah.
After lunch on a Wednesday,
Yeah. Yeah.
And this song that you just played was the song we started with, which was a terrible decision because I just broke down there,
Goodness
right
gracious.
in front of him. But you can hear it in all of the orchestral music on this album. The orchestra is in 3 or 4 tracks, I can't remember. There's some absolute fucking magic in that performance. And a couple of people came up to me afterwards, this was one of the most special things I've ever been a part of. Thanks for letting us, honor your friend like this. It was such an unusual thing to experience in that corner of the music industry, where
It was a ceremony in a sense.
It's a ceremony, and you've done the job. You hired, you've written the parts, and then you hire the players. They play the music. There was something else there.
Yeah.
And that, I tell that story, and I've told that story before, because I think that more than anything in this whole experience is just an example of how I never want to go back. The honesty and the purity, maybe, that drives every single part of this record, not just my part. You know,
Yeah.
there's other people on there. There's loads of people helping me with this.
Mm-hmm.
The purity in the intentions of every single person who touched this made me just like, that's the world I want to live in.
Wow.
That's how I want to make music. I never want to go back to anything slightly less than this. This is a standard now.
Yeah. Wow. And what a way to arrive there. Not a way that no one would wish, but yeah, there's no other way to explain it. You listen to it knowing the story, and it feels like there's something beyond like you said, the concept.
Yeah.
You know, there's a soul or a heart to it that it rarely gets captured.
Now we just have to figure out how we bring that soul and bring that heart into everything else that we do, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if like that was the purpose of this whole experience, you know.
I'm sure. And it's not something one could ever plan or want to plan, you know. I know you brought songs, and I'm enjoying chatting to you about this as well, but I want you to play some songs that you brought as well.
Yeah.
Where would you like to take us? You can take
Maybe
us left, right?
To segue out of this, I would love to play one of Talos's solo songs.
Sure.
Crows is up there, one of my favorite songs of his. It's the first song that we actually played together before we wrote anything together. We jammed this song together. Actually.
Okay.
You speak the silence of me, you cradle the mountains in search of island needs. Our hearts shook vanishing stars from shivering islands that drop like dorsal leaves at the sun with a cry notched from the silence. Aim at the sun with a cry blackened by silence. You carved my love with numberless scars. Turn up, stagger on, blind bullet forced from the seas. Where you go, this love blackens the silence. Do we know of love blind in the silence?
It's amazing how like it's such a simple repetition
Yeah.
that just has this ability to take off.
You can kind of see why we matched. we were a good match. I think that song kind of, tells tales of that as well. And that was Lisa Hannigan, by the way, who sings the other voice there.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. I don't think there's much to say besides enjoy the song that it is.
I didn't want to talk over it.
No, neither.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheat because you brought this song that I can see here. I also had that song in my playlist.
Really?
Yeah.
This is Ryuichi Sakamoto, obviously.
And Data. See, look, where is it? There.
There you go. Isn't this one of his most beautiful songs?
But again, how it builds,
Yeah.
it takes you to a different place.
Takes you to a completely different.
It's
Speaking
like,
of
oh, this is-
environments in music, actually,
Yeah.
you know, it actually transports you from this very delicate piano beginning to like a completely different world by the end of
I
it.
remember when I heard it for the first time, I was like, wait, what? When it turns, you know?
How did you get there?
Yeah, because it's quite a
I've
classic.
tried doing this.
Really?
I actually wrote a song and I just, as an exercise, like, I want to try doing what Ryuichi did on that one track on Async. It's like, I couldn't do it. Not so tasteful.
Big organ.
Yeah. Yeah, and it still has one more place to go. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You can go from one place to another, but to go to the third place, that was the part for me I couldn't
Yeah.
do.
I'd love to hear this on an organ.
Yeah. I was like picturing him when I hear his like electronic sounds. I always picture that guy. Like, I knew him a little bit. I was
Did you?
fortunate
So
to
lucky.
get to know this like amazing, beautiful person when he was alive, and the sweetest man,
Really?
absolute sweetest man. And he would tell me this. He would kind of, he was very, you know, he had a lot of humility, but often his partner would tell me a bit more details about the stories, and he would like still when he was like 70, the 70-year-old man would sit in front of his laptop for like 20 hours straight working on that one little sound. You know, I just
Really?
love picturing it.
Always had a special
This beautiful grandpa just like
grandpa. So true, so true.
in Ableton Live, like working on like a strange obscure
Wow, never lost
electronic
it. Never lost
digital
it.
sound. He never lost that. And like
We-
the way his face lit up when he heard something that he thought was cool, he never lost that, you know.
Like he was such a curator as well. Like the
Yeah.
taste he had, I was very inspired
And
by.
so many young artists have similar stories as I had, and I found this out just kind of when he passed, like how many artists that I knew or knew of who were kind of my age were posting dedication and tributes and kind of telling very similar stories. Like,
Really?
he was one of the first people to ever kind of lift up my music when I was starting out.
really?
Like he would just find all these people, and he did that with me.
Wow. Ichiko Albo, who was in here recently, similar.
Yeah, right.
You know, found her young and
He never lost this like obsession with discovering
Yes,
sounds,
yeah.
discovering people and music. And I remember saying after meeting him and after knowing him for like a year, I said to my friend, like, when I'm 65 or 70, if I'm anything like him, I've done something right in my life.
Totally.
You know? A hugely inspiring person. I actually brought 2 Ryuichi Sakamoto songs because I knew we would end up there, but I didn't know which way we would go.
I was like, how much do I bring or not bring?
Yeah.
Should we end with it, or do you want to go somewhere else?
You know what? We were talking on Instagram a little bit a week ago, and I promised you I would bring you some obscure Icelandic music.
Ooh.
And I think it would be kind of fun to have
Okay.
some very strange, obscure 60s Icelandic.
Okay.
I felt like it would be right up your alley.
Yes. Who is it? Which one?
The artist is called Ellie Williams. It's right above Ryuichi's song.
Okay.
This song is kind of the equivalent of Fleetwood Mac's, what was that song called? Albatross? Like the only
I love
instrumental
Albatross.
track to ever top the Billboard list.
Did it?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I think it's the only instrumental that's ever been on top of the Billboard 100 in America. And this is the Icelandic equivalent of that.
Wow.
It sounds more like it comes from an old Western movie in America. I don't know why. The singer Ellie Williams, is one of my favorite traditional or Icelandic folk singers. She sang a lot of our, like the songs that cut really deep into Icelandic culture in the 20th century. And the song, it's one of her most famous songs. And you'll hear why that's a strange thing when you play it.
Okay, 1994.
It's a remaster, actually.
Oh, okay.
So the album is 60s.
60s.
Maybe early 70s.
Hey! Oh, lovely. This is right up my alley.
I knew it.
Hell yeah. So good. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on
you're
this.
very welcome.
I didn't know where this show was gonna go. I did bring Sakamoto, but I also was like, I could see you playing some like dancey house stuff. I could also see us going fully minimal. But
I
we
almost
went,
brought some like Indonesian metal, actually.
you should have. That would have been great. Episode 2.
Yeah, next time.
But Ólafur, thank you so much. It's been an absolute
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me. Absolute pleasure. I'm so happy to be here.
And thank you for this. The Wagon Wheels. What's your review?
I mean, it's better than it looks.
It's very
It
sweet.
wouldn't be my go-to. It's a little bit too sweet for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I like licorice. That's my
Licorice.
thing, yeah.
Oh,
Salty
you're that
licorice,
kind of
yeah.
guy.
So all the sweet things I don't vibe with that much.
I feel like licorice people are a certain type of person.
Yeah, they are called Icelandic people. The whole nation. It's like-
Oh, really? Actually.
Yeah. My friend is a ER doctor, and after like her first year as a ER doctor, she said, "You know, there's 2 things I'm not gonna do anymore in my life: play football and eat licorice." Like apparently we eat so much licorice that like one of the most common reasons for someone coming to the ER was heart palpitations from eating too much licorice.
Maybe in Australia it's wagon wheels.
Amazing.
Fun,
Thank
right?
you.
It's a fun little thing.
So fun.
Yeah.
I wish we could have been here for like 3 hours.